Hello, I'm Alex, and you're watching The Palm Off, a programme where I occasionally watch shit on telly, and I'll tell you how I got on. Channel 5 occasionally does something a little bit special, something so compelling you can't possibly turn over. Let me introduce you to Edward. He drives a Beetle.
This is Vanilla. She's a 74 standard Beetle, and I named her Vanilla because it's kind of
Whoa, nice hat, Yogi.
a sexy, sensuous name, and she's white.
Edward has never had an intimate relationship with another human.
Everything about her is very sensuous to me.
Many of us, we love our cars.
And I enjoy holding her. I enjoy being part of her. And
Okay, I don't love my car that much.
I'll be doing this, and it's almost impossible, to resist her. And I get carried away, I must admit, but she's my lover.
Whoa.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
As we were to find out, Vanilla wasn't the only recipient of Edward's loving seed,
Loving Seed, who is this guy?
and he didn't restrict himself to cars. For Edward told us that he had also made love to a helicopter. And not just any helicopter, but Airwolf.
Whoa, not Airwolf.
But I just get carried away. I love them. You think to myself that maybe I'm a little off the wall, but then
not
I see
Kit, not
movies like Herbie, but also like Knight Rider, where the car is a character and there's a person who's having a relationship with a car.
Whoa, what the fuck is that?
Edward discovered a small community of like minds, with whom he exchanges pictures and stories.
The guy from Missouri, Jordan, and his beautiful little Volkswagen.
That thing's hideous.
Jordan is only 20, and unlike Edward, just beginning to explore mechanophilia. Jordan and Edward had never met, so we suggested that they did.
I pack light.
They were isolated, and we felt that both would gain from meeting another mechaphile. Because they lived 2,000 miles apart, we chose a giant car show and swap meet in Pomona, near Los Angeles, as the location. Edward seemed more excited by the prospect of meeting the cars than meeting Jordan.
That bloody hat.
I'm hoping maybe I'll have a chance to, have a nice session.
Session?
Maybe, I hope, with a couple of cars.
I love you. Oh, God.
Here we go.
There is. So I'm bringing this. Trans Am. His name is Todd.
Look at those tailpipes. Oh, it's a part of the body, but it represents the car's anus in more ways than one, and it's just like having anal sex with a car.
Ah, the old Hershey Highway.
You just place it in there, maybe grease it up a little with some lubricant.
What lubricant do they use? Castrol GTX?
It's fantastic.
Now, what works best, fully or part synthetic?
The sensation is unbelievable.
Between my cars, I have had sex with them, but how can you do that? Well, there's pretty much any way you can really find. I mean, the attraction alone is halfway there. Any sort of sexual interaction is sex, Some people just like to, rub themselves or whatever, like within the creases of the car or something, or just hug it or sort of make out with it and stuff. There's some people who just flat out like to fuck their car in the tailpipe, which that works.
Edward was an early riser,
She's gonna go for his
unaware that we were also up. He grabbed the opportunity to get intimate with our car.
You give that bumper some loving. Just think of all the flies on the front of that car.
I slept great last night. I'm sure she did. Gave her a little loving before going to bed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she liked that. I'm just getting some of the smudges, love smudges off of her.
Some of the loving seed.
Loving seed.
She loves it all over her, that's for sure.
You've left her hair. Can you see?
Edward had grown used to seizing opportunities for sex. We had our backs turned for just minutes filming these shots. But when we returned to our car, we found this shot. In the end, a combination of circumstance and our bad planning meant that it was past midnight when the two finally met.
Oh, we're there. Oh my God. It's good to meet you.
After the long, eventful drive, we decided to retire early. But Edward seemed keen to get to know Todd. After all, he looked like Kit, one of his all-time fantasy cars. And sure enough, in the middle of the night, something stirred in the motel car park. It was Todd's turn to receive Edward's loving seed.
Stop it! Fucking loving seed.
It remained to be seen how Jordan would feel about it.
It's okay, that'll buff out. Oh.
The next day, Jordan and Edward were, in their words, giving their cars a bath.
Squirt it. Squirt it all over her.
He's a mucky sod.
When we get back home, Todd and I are gonna fuck like rabbits, but
We express love in different ways.
Edward was clearly not in the mood to confess where some of Todd's more recent stains had come from.
I just realized there's security cameras around here.
It was the morning of the big event, the Pomona swap meet. With cars as far as the eye could see, it quickly became apparent that the two mechaphiles were more interested in them than they were in each other.
it is not a bad car.
Whoa, bet that slips easy into reverse.
A lot of these cars I would rape like a wild animal. Like, I like them, I like to look at them, but, you know, it's just unlike Edward, I'm not so prone to fondle them up and touch them because they're not mine.
Edward, on the other hand, could barely keep himself in his trousers. It was like watching a cross between a teenage boy and a dirty old man.
Why not just dirty old man?
We felt that we should tell Edward that we saw him masturbating on Jordan's car.
You did?
But you don't seem to mind that, don't you?
No, not anymore. I'm not near as frightened as I was about that, but I still try to be respectful.
How can he say that? He rubbed himself all over Jordan's car last night.
In reality, Edward found it hard to control himself. He was becoming increasingly brazen in his sexual displays. That night, he took it to a whole new level.
Whoa, he's had his dipstick.
Knowing that we had seen him with Todd only seemed to encourage him further.
Go on.
It's something that grew a part of me when I was a kid, and I couldn't shake it.
But you're clearly not using it properly.
And I don't fully understand it myself, except that I know I'm not hurting anyone.
Seeing him, are you totally comfortable with that as a future for yourself?
Oh, yeah. You know, and if I'm a 57-year-old, you know, yeah, living on my own and wanking over my cars, like I said, it works for me now, it'll work for me then.
The time had come for an end shot.
Wow,
Can't believe it. Here we are at the Pacific Ocean at the end of a wonderful, interesting journey of car passion.
Oh, well, I've gained a lot from this trip. I'm as in love with Todd as I am with Ingo at this point, which is pretty strong, I guess, considering I've had Ingo for like 4 or 5 years.
I want to kiss him right now.
Go for it.
You know, I'm gonna have to go buy real soon here.
You whore.
Never thought of a car as a whore before.
But of course, it wasn't only Jordan who had fallen in love with Todd.
I may not see you again. Oh, Todd, thanks for the fun. He's
a good car.
And thank you.
Did you actually jizz on my car?
Ah, busted. So only in America would you find a community of men who not just a little, but really love their cars. Does your blow-off valve discharge when the going gets tough? I hope you enjoyed this special episode. Don't forget to share and comment below. Thanks for watching.